all through COVID shutdown, you really, well, especially in this part of the world, whatever, 5 months of the year, you really can't go out and get some exercise or whatnot. If you don't have something in your basement or garage or whatever, you're just sitting there and shoving another cookie in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, look, Americans, people in general, have always looked to junk food to combat stress, whether it's, alcohol or cigarettes or, in this case, junk food. It's kind of what people do. But I guess during the pandemic, it got even worse. People were isolated in their homes. Here's an amazing stat, though, Ed. And think about this. 56% of 18 to 25-year-olds are overweight or obese.
That's
half of young people are overweight or obese. And there's a lot of just amazing studies out there that show that we've not really learned our lesson when it comes to eating healthy and doing that sort of thing. But we have joining us right now Greg McCoy. He's a certified personal trainer. He's the owner of Hidden Gym in Texas, and he has some thoughts on this. Greg, welcome to the program. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm great. How are you?
Doing great, Greg. So what is it? Are we worse than we ever were, or is it just kind of coming to the forefront now that, us being everybody trapped at home for the last 2 years or whatever it's been? Are we just starting to hear about it now, or has this always been a problem?
No, it's the numbers don't lie.
Okay.
It's not a perception. We are getting worse, despite knowing more than ever about how to make changes. So it's not a knowledge problem. It's not the 50s anymore. We know the benefits of exercise. We understand basic nutrition and how it affects the body. But the knowing isn't helping. It's behavioral issues, and we're getting worse, particularly in the U.S. But it's worldwide, particularly in more modern society. So we are getting worse. The numbers don't lie.
So here's the thing to me, Greg, and if you can comment on this, to me, one of the big takeaways from COVID was that you must live a healthier lifestyle. The stat came out, it was from the CDC, 80% of the hospitalizations were to people who are overweight or obese. I mean, boom, there it is. You want to be healthy from, being resistant to COVID and many other things. You got to be healthy, yet not only is it not even staying the same, unhealthy lifestyles are going on the uptick. So if we don't learn now, how are we ever going to learn?
Yeah, it's baffling because it doesn't even seem like scaring is working for people. Like there's now a fear that there's a disease out there that's going to attack you if you're unhealthy, and we trend in the wrong direction. And I don't know where you guys you probably don't want to get into the vaccine topic, but it's no different than how we want to solve weight loss and other problems, which is with a pill or a shot. The truth of the matter is, if we would get healthier, we wouldn't have to rely on vaccines so heavily. So people want the quick fix. It's easier to go to the doctor and get a shot than it is to get your health in order.
So what would you recommend as far as this stuff goes? And we're talking to Greg McCoy here. What do we all need to do? Is it all just eat more fruits and vegetables? And I mean, we hear that, you hear that drum being beat all the time, but is it as simple as that? And of course, getting the proper amount of exercise?
It's simple, but not easy. And much like anything, saving money, all these things that people want to do, but they're hard to do. They're not complicated. You're right. You need to eat less and exercise more. That's the basis of it. But I got invited here to talk about, people's relying on junk food. And I think we have kind of a negative momentum loop going. An object in motion stays in motion. Well, we just all got taken out of motion for months. And so now we're this sedentary group of people, and we can't get the ball rolling again. So you got to make little steps, and you need to do small things consistently instead of big heroic efforts every now and then. That is, been a gym owner now for 15 years, and if I can tell you, the people that I see come in here and change and the people that I see come in and not change, it's consistency is the number one thing. And that's not an easy thing, but I'm here to shoot you straight. You got to do it for a long period of time consistently for this to pay off, much like saving money into a bank account.
Greg, you mentioned consistency, and I agree. But what is, in all of your experience as a personal trainer, what is the best way someone can at least start on the path of consistency, where they can start small and, okay, I can do this, and this is doable. It's not, just insurmountable. What's your advice there?
Sure. It's and there was an excellent study that actually came out of Oxford that the number one effective weight loss advice had nothing to do with a particular type of diet or anything like that. The number one behavior that someone could take on to lose weight was preparing meals in advance. Simply thinking about what you want to eat in advance, having it ready, being prepared was the number one thing that was able to get a big, large study of group of people to consistently lose weight. The second behavior that they came up with on that list was using checklists, a simple checklist. Did I drink enough water today? Did I do 30 minutes of movement today? Did I eat the right amount of calories today? Having a simple checklist that you can follow throughout the day. And the third one was coaching. We see our doctors maybe once, twice a year if we're, somewhat healthy. If you've worked with a registered dietitian, usually that's every 6 months or something. And it's just not enough intervention to change somebody around. That's, where trainers and group instructors and these people in fitness facilities become the front lines working with these people day in and day out, because it takes that level of intervention to make a change.
Greg McCoy is our guest. He's a certified personal trainer. He's also a gym owner down in Texas, trains thousands of clients throughout 10 different countries. Greg, I'm going to switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
And it just seems like, as someone who kind of follows this stuff, meat diets have made a huge comeback. I feel like for a while we were in the age of the, incredible burger or the meatless burger and all that. But I feel like everything I see now, there's lots more momentum behind meat diets and carnivore diets, and also organ meat diets. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the Liver King is making
the Liver King, man. Yeah, look, if people don't know who this is, just Google Liver King. It's this guy he's popular on Instagram, and he's all shredded up, apparently drug-free, although I don't know. And he eats, he butchers his own cows. Yeah, he eats the liver, the gallbladder, the testicles, the brain, everything. He's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's entertaining, and go out there, enjoy some Liver King, and I will say he is motivational, but I don't know how many people are going to follow his advice. The truth of the matter is, all diets work. There's no debating that. Any expert that you talk to is generally not going to bash one diet or the other, because at the end of the day, it comes down to calorie balance. So you need to decide which type of calorie you want to be more deficient in, and you stick to it. You find the one that works for you. If you find that reducing carbohydrates is better, then reduce carbohydrates. If you find that low fat is better for you, then reduce the fat. It's honestly whichever one works for you. That's great general advice. But with meat specifically, I'm a big fan of the high protein diets. Have been a proven successful diet for any length of time, and most diet plan that you find is going to have the higher proportion of calories coming from protein. So whether that's a meat source, the good thing about the meat diets is the problem when it comes to weight loss and vegetarian diets, where a lot of people get into trouble, is to get adequate protein, you don't get just protein. Like if you're going to eat rice and beans to create protein, you're going to get a heck of a lot of carbs with that. So it becomes hard to reduce carbs or fat in a vegan diet. So a meat diet, you're getting strictly protein, which is the hardest of the macronutrients to convert into body fat. So high meat diets are great. And it's, I think it's common misinformation in that, high, meat diets and eggs and these things are going to raise your cholesterol. And it's kind of in the diet circles, that hasn't been a thing in a long time. But even to the point where, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines Committee said in 2015 that dietary cholesterol is not a concern anymore. Like the link between dietary cholesterol and blood cholesterol, it's not a direct correlation. So the meat diet and people that are worried about cholesterol, it's not as much of a concern as you would think.
But Greg, is there anything in your research that shows that organ meat is beneficial, that it is loaded with nutrients, and it is the next coming, or what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's no secret. Again, like people are always looking for what's the secret, right? Like, I could stomach organ meat to look like that guy. Like, of course, that sounds appealing. Like you might hope that would be true. The truth of the matter is it's high protein sources. They are nutrient dense, but you can also take a multivitamin and get away with it. So I'd rather eat a steak and have a multivitamin than eat testicles, right? Like, it's a pretty
truer words have not been spoken on this show, Greg.
I live by that motto, to be honest with you, Greg.
There's thousands of people in their car right now saying yes, amen.
All right, Greg McCoy, it's fascinating stuff, and we could talk about this for days and hours. We'd love to have you back and hit some topics every once in a while, eh?
Yeah, you guys got it. Enjoy the show. Hello to everybody in the area. And, yeah, Greg McCoy, Hidden Gym. I'll be glad to be back whenever you guys want.
Love it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, y'all be good.
Yeah, if you can't be good, be pretty. So, yeah, where did you get this? Or I haven't heard of the Liver King. You've
not heard of the Liver King? Come on. You're not, your kids know who, I think they would know who this guy is. I mean, he's all everything is like, ancestral, and he walks around. I don't even know if he owns an actual shirt. He's got a big old long beard, and he does all this crazy training. He's like carries chains around his neck and dumbbells while pulling a sled, and he's walking down the streets of New York. I mean, the guy's a certified crazy person, but he's wildly entertaining. And he's a big proponent of eating organ meat. Like, he sits down at dinner, and where you have some rice and maybe a little antipasto salad and a little chicken breast,
something like that.
Yeah, he has bone marrow, heart, testicles, and like a glass of blood. And that's what he eats. And he's, he looks good. Looks good naked, I guess. I don't know. Who am I to argue with results? I don't know.
I'll settle for I look right now naked, so I don't have to eat any testicles or hearts. I'm good. I have to be satisfied with what I got, man.
Exactly. I am about health and all that, but I am not going to do that. I can't.
We check in with traffic now.
Look out for slow traffic northbound 75 between the Norwood.